I think that now we have a good, almost we have the full complement of the class, so we can start. Our course is corporate finance under corporate governance. I understand the diversity of your backgrounds. Some of you are coming from different backgrounds, not business backgrounds and all that. The course is said that it's supposed to be made up of quantitative and qualitative topics. But anytime that I handle, I try, especially with this group, I try to minimize the quantitative topics because most of you may have some issues with numeracy, numbers, figures, and all that. I would not what I will know. As you can see, that I will not worry you much with the quantitative aspects of the course, so that at least everybody can enjoy the class. Now, this is my teaching approach. In fact, under normal circumstances, I should start with the course outline, right? And that's under normal circumstances, that's what I'm supposed to do. That's what it's supposed to be, that you start with the course outline. I mean, listing the topics that you're supposed to, but the nature of the course, the crash, let me put it, the crash nature of the course, it makes it very difficult to know the topics that you can, because the time is so limited. So normally I select the topics as and when, I realize that I have time to deal with them. So you may not get a course outline today, but maybe when everything is over, and I'll be able to, I'll just put everything, the ones that I've been able to discuss, that will be our outline. So bear with me. I'm doing it. If I'm not sharing the course outline deliberately, I'm doing so not to commit myself in a way that at the end of the day, the thing will be there, but time will not permit us to be able to discuss, and I don't want that to happen. My teaching pedagogy is said that especially the qualitative aspects, if care is not taken and it is not mixed with jokes or necessary issues and all that, you may not be able to follow, especially being in the comfort of your homes. If you're not careful, you will sleep and you may not be able to enjoy the class. So when I realized that the absorption rate of the class, or when I sense that the absorption rate of the class is going low, I will pause and discuss unnecessary things, introduce unnecessary topics, unnecessary issues and all that. Just to keep you alive, or in fact, alive in quotes, just to keep you glued to the discussion, right? Or more or less to animate you so that you can still focus for us to be able to go through whatever you are supposed to go through. So if I'm doing that, if I'm discussing unnecessary things, personal issues and all that, at least I'm doing it deliberately, because if I don't mix the lectures with sections, the lectures will not be interesting. And you may end up even dozing off. Some of you may sleep and get lotto numbers and all that in the course of the sleep. I don't want that to happen. So if I'm doing certain, please, not because I like side issues, no. Because the nature of the discussion demands introduction to the finance function. Introduction to the finance function. So these are things that the question is what is the meaning or the question of what is corporate finance? Right? What is it? You see that it relates to effective and efficient management of the finances of a firm in order to achieve its objectives. Now, so that is our definition of corporate finance. It's all about management of the funds, of the finances of a firm in order to achieve its objectives. So it's all about the provision of financial resources, right? Planning and controlling the provision of financial resources. That is, we want to know where funds are raised from. And then you also want to look at, after the funds are raised, how are they appropriated? How are they used? Right? And how do you ensure controls so that the funds that are raised and appropriated, the appropriation is done in a way that advances the interest of the firm. So what is about? It is about the acquisition, financing, and management of assets with some goal in mind. Now, if you look at the definitions that we have just talked about, we can identify four main decisions involved in corporate finance. Four main decisions. But as we move along, we will collapse one of the decisions. And so we subsume it under one. So we will have three decisions constituting the corporate finance function. Right? Yes. But for now, we are saying that the corporate finance function entails four main decisions. And these decisions are: one, investment decision; financing decision; dividend decision or dividend policy; and the management of assets decision. So four decisions for now. All right. Now let's look at these decisions. Again, please, if I mention something that is not clear, just draw my attention to it. Now, investment decision is all about the determination of the assets that a firm needs. Right? That is, investment decisions are decisions made which results in the creation of assets. So we say that investment decisions create assets. So the assets, we know that the assets of a firm are made up of fixed assets and current assets, right? But these assets are products. They are products of investment decisions. For example, the decision to buy a car for your business, right? The decision to set up a branch, right, of your company. The decision to buy raw materials. These are all what? Investment decisions. Right? Investment decisions. So investment decisions create assets. And the assets are in two categories. We have fixed assets and current assets. Now somebody will ask, what are fixed assets? Those are assets that are purchased, or they are the earnings of the firm that the firm uses to run So examples of fixed assets, the building, the premises of the business or the company, the computers, right, that are used for the day-to-day running or day-to-day operations of the firm, the computers, right? The air conditioners and all those things that they assist the firm to run, or they are used by the firm to run, right? Those are what fixed assets. Then you have the current assets. Their values keep changing. They don't remain in the business for long. Their values change. For example, today, the firm may have cash, either at hand or at the bank. Tomorrow, the cash will be spent. There will be no cash. Cash is an example of current assets. Yes, the firm may sell on credit. And if a firm sells on credit, it creates what? Debtors. Debtors may be, the debtors may be created today, but tomorrow, the debtors will pay. So there will be no debtors, right, in the balance sheet of the firm. Stock. We may buy raw materials for production, or we may buy, we may buy goods, finished goods for sale or for resale. Today we may have a particular quantity. Tomorrow there will be none because we have sold everything. So current assets, they don't stay in the business for long, right? And the decisions to acquire, to sell, these are all what? Investment decisions. Then we have financing decision. It's all about what funds the firm must use. So, for example, you have identified a project that is viable, right? So you have decided to invest, or you have decided to take advantage of that opportunity. What money would you use to finance or to fund the project? That is a financing decision. Are you going to use your own money, or you are going to use money that you have borrowed from outside or from friends and relatives? Making such decisions as to how or what money and how much you will use to finance, right, an asset is what we call financing decision, right? Financing decision. And you see, if you have a project and you want to pursue it, right? You have options. You have options. You can decide to finance it. Assuming that you are an entrepreneur, you want to go into business, you can decide to finance your project with your own funds. You can decide to borrow from friends and relatives. You can decide to go to a bank for financial assistance and all that, right? So making the decision as to which source you will use to finance your project or your activity is what we call what? Financing decision, right? Financing decision. Then we have dividend decision or dividend policy. Now, dividend policy has to do with the appropriation of the outcome of the previous decisions you have made. So, for example, we have decided to invest in, say, a brothel business. You know a brothel? Right? Do you know a brothel?
No, please. I don't know.
Is that Maggie? Is that Maggie?
Yes, please.
You don't know a brothel?
I do, Professor.
You do? Who is
Yes,
that?
I also do.
This Musa.
Okay, Musa, you know a brothel business, right?
Yes, I have a fair idea what it is.
So can you share with the class what it is?
It's a kind of a temporary accommodation provided for stay, like a hotel, whereby ladies are available, women, I would say, as an option.
No, have you patronized that place before?
Not exactly, sir.
Oh, okay.
That's the one that we call tutu lie, right?
Yes, sir.
Okay, so you go there.
Oh, okay.
So Mohammed, if you have patronized it, you can share your testimony with us. Maybe you've been there, and but now you are no more going there. You can share your experience with us. You can.
Well, thank you. I think I will try. You know, when I was younger, I used to go out to the nightclubs and then stay late at night in town. So I used to hang around the areas of Circle, Accra. So I have a fair idea what it is. And I read a lot and I watch foreign movies. So I actually picked up the word from a movie, a foreign movie, what a brothel. So I related it to what I saw in Accra. And so I thought, yeah, thank you.
But you never
well, I never stayed in there. Actually,
you never slept into any of them.
Yes.
Okay.
Thank you.
Oh, okay. All right. So let's say that I'm just using this as just for you to be able to relate and to be able to easily recall it. And no, so let's say that you have something like that. You need to finance it. Let's say you want to go into that business. You have identified a place, the place where you want to run that business. You need to get a plot. Maybe you have to put up in the structure. What money are you going to use? Let's say that yes, you have raised the money. Maybe your own personal savings. You have used your own personal savings to finance. Yes, profit has been generated. The next question is, how do you appropriate the profit you have generated from this business? That is what dividend policy is about, right? That's what dividend. In fact, dividend policy is made up of two elements: dividend decision and then the dividend payout. So the two constitute the dividend policy of a firm. The firm has engaged in value-added activities. Profit has been generated. How does it handle the profit? Is it that the firm will plow it back into its operations so that it continue to generate more profit, or the profit should be given to the shareholders of the company or the firm? So making such a decision is what we call the dividend policy. In some cases, if the firm may decide that, or managers of the firm, or in this case, the board of directors, yes, will decide that, well, the profit that we have made, we are not giving it out to shareholders. We are keeping it. We are retaining it to create more value for our shareholders. Right. So making that decision, or that decision is what we call what? Dividend policy. Making a decision. And if you decide, for example, you have decided to pay a part of the profit, give part of the profit to shareholders, how much should be given? Right. You have to make that decision. all fall under the dividend policy. So you may make a decision to pay, but another decision that you have to make is how much of the profit should go and how much should be retained. You have to make such decisions, and they all come under the dividend policy. Please remember that I've said that for now, the corporate, yeah.
Hurry up. They'll let you hurry up.
Okay, please mute your mic. Okay, so the next decision is the asset management decision. And please remember that I've said that the corporate finance function for now is made up of 4 main decisions. So far, we have looked at 3: investment, financing, and what? Dividend policy. The last one is asset management decision. That yes, your assets must be managed, right? Assets, but some will have to be, disposed of, right? Some will have to be varied and all that. But the point is that assets must be managed. And as you can see, since the asset management has to do, or the asset management decision has to do with assets, and we have learned not long ago that investment decisions create assets, then we can conveniently place the asset management decision under investment decision, which will now lead us to this conclusion that the corporate finance function is made up of 3 main decisions: investment decision, financing decision, and then dividend policy. So in this class, please, we have taken a view, or we have taken a position that the corporate finance function is made up of 3 main decisions: investment decision, financing decision, and what? Dividend policy. Now, we can use the balance sheet, and I believe you have heard balance sheet. Is there anyone here who hasn't heard anything about balance sheet? Or who is not familiar with balance sheet? You can raise your hand. Yeah, no. Okay. So balance sheet, we can use the balance sheet to explain the corporate finance function. Right. Now, let me tell you that the corporate finance, in some circles, right, it is called what? Financial management. In others, it is also called managerial finance or something like that, right? Right. So any book on managerial finance, corporate finance, and financial management could be of help, right? But please, in our case, we are calling it what? Corporate finance instead of financial management. Now, we are using the balance sheet, or we can use the balance sheet to explain the corporate finance function. We can use the balance sheet to explain the corporate finance function. How? Somebody will say how. The typical balance sheet, or a balance sheet, has 2 main parts. We have the assets part, the assets section, and we have the liability section. We have discussed that investment decisions create assets, right? So if you want to know the investment decisions a firm has made over the years, that is the managers of the firm, the investment decisions the managers of the firm have made over the years, then you can look at the assets of the firm. So the assets of the firm will indicate the investment decisions the managers of the firm have made over the period. So when you take the balance sheet, of a company, the asset side reveals what the investment decisions the firm has made over the years. Then the liability side reveals the dividend and the financing decisions the managers of the firm have made over the years. Have I made myself clear, please? Hello? Hello?
Hi.
Hi.
Have I made myself clear?
Yes,
Sir, please,
please.
can you please take it again?
No, what I'm saying, I want you to take the balance sheet of a company. The assets you see there, they are all products of the investment decisions the managers of the firm or the company have made over the period, or ever since the company came into being. The assets you see there, right? They review the investment decisions the managers of the firm have made over the years. Then the liability side reveals the financing and the dividend decisions the managers of the firm have made over the years. That is all that. So you can, if you are using the balance sheet to explain the corporate finance function, then the asset side will indicate the investment decision. Then the liability side will indicate the financing and the dividend decisions of the managers of the company. Is it okay now? Is it okay?
Yes, sir. Thank you.
Okay. Right. Okay. Now we want to see if we can draw some distinction between finance, corporate finance, and financial accounting. The question that we want to answer is accounting the same as finance? That is corporate finance the same as financial accounting? The answer is no. The corporate finance is not the same as financial accounting. Now, how can we, draw the line of distinction? In terms of nature, corporate finance is inherently what? Forward-looking. Whilst financial accounting is backward-looking. The question is why? How? Because in finance, in general, the focus is on cash flows, the future. What is happening? What will happen in the future? What are we expecting? Not what we have already expected, or what you have already realized, right? It is what we are expecting that is of concern to what finance, not what has already been realized. Now you contrast it with financial accounting, which normally dwells on historical data, what has already been realized, right? In terms of focus, finance focuses on cash flows, whilst accounting focuses on profits. But you know that accounting profit is not cash. I believe you agree with me that accounting profit is not cash. That a firm can make profit, right? But today, the firm can post a big profit, but tomorrow it can go under. Then the question is, why? Because accounting profit is not cash. And so in finance, the focus is on cash flows, not on profit. In terms of scope, we can say that finance in general is broader than accounting. And in fact, finance draws ideas from accounting and economics. Then when it comes to practice, right? When it comes to practice, finance practice is not as regulated as accounting practice. Right? Finance practice is not as regulated as accounting practice. But notwithstanding the differences that you have pointed out, in practice, the two must move together. There's a connection between the two. And that is why even KNUST, we have a department called Department of Accounting and Finance, because there is that connection, right, between accounting and what? And finance. Now we want to turn our attention, please, as I move along, if there is something that is not clear to you, please just ask me for explanation. Don't feel shy. Yes, you are about 40, yeah, you are 40 online now, but don't feel shy. Don't be intimidated by the presence of anybody here, especially those who are still searching. And sometimes, because especially the guys, because you are searching, even if you don't understand something, you don't want the lady or the ladies to know that something that appears simple, you don't understand, because it may, interfere with your chances, or it may undermine your chances of expose you, and it may not, because just imagine that the lady you are targeting in class understands, but you don't understand. It becomes something else, right? But feel free to ask questions. I mean, don't get intimidated by anybody. Please, let's try as much as possible to mute ourselves. Sometimes you may forget yourself, so I can understand, but try let your phone be on mute, or whatever, your laptop be on mute, so that there will be no interference. Otherwise, you may say something that will not benefit all of us, because something that you want to discuss with your family, it may be here, and I don't think that is proper. So we turn our attention to key concepts in corporate finance. Key concepts in corporate finance. One is risk. Risk. Is there anyone here who hasn't heard the word risk? We all do use the concept risk. This is too risky, or this is risky. Why should you? I mean, I won't risk. I won't do what the question. What is it? In fact, risk has many definitions. But in our context, we are looking at the probability that the actual return on your investment may be different from your expected return. Right? That is, in this particular context, that's how we are defining risk. But in other contexts, risk may assume or may take different definitions. Right? Yes, so risk. The probability that what you expect, right, would be different from what you gain, what you realize. Then risk goes with return. And the return is supposed to be the reward that you get from your investment. So if you decide to invest in something and it yields some results, right? The results you get from what you are put in become your return. Okay, your return. And risk and return, they move together. The return you get usually depends on the risk you take. The higher the risk, the higher the return. And Mohammed knows that, and in the brothel business, the women, they practice this principle, the risk-return connection, that the men who patronize that business, if a man drives protected, there is a fee he pays. If he drives unprotected, there is a fee. In fact, the one who drives unprotected, because his risk is higher than the man who drives protected, he pays more than the man who drives protected. Okay, so risk is priced. right? Risk is priced or risk is rewarded. So the lady who is allowing you to sleep with her without any protection is taking a higher risk than the lady who would demand that you protect yourself. And so the compensation or the returns should not be the same. So this principle must be, noted that the higher the risk, the higher the return. So there's a positive relationship between risk and return. The higher the risk, the higher the return. Please bear this in mind because it's very, very important in finance, right? Very, very important. Risk and return are very important in finance, right? Okay. So if you're able to, yes.
So, sorry to that. Please, the name is Musa. There's another Mohammed, and I don't want him to take my credit for this experience from the hotel issues.
You are what? You are
Musa.
Musa.
Yes.
Musa. Okay.
Yes.
Atabi.
Allah Akbar.
Right. Okay. All right. Okay. Thank you for that. Right. Then another concept in finance that you must also take note of, or you must note, is time value of money. And here the focus is when one receives money. It matters when you receive your money. If money that is supposed to be paid today, right, or supposed to be paid in 2025, if it is paid in 2026, the purchasing power will not be the same, because what 100 cedis can do today, right, it cannot do next year. Is that not the case? Let's say today, how much is one ball of kinky? A typical ball of kinky. Those of you who have been eating the kinky.
5 cedis.
5 cedis.
Yes.
Now, so if you hold 100 cedis, how many balls can you buy? 20, right?
Yes.
20. So 100
Yes.
cedis today can buy 20 balls of kinky, right? Now, if the price of a ball of kinky increases to 10 cedis next year, with the same 100 cedis, how much can it buy? How many balls of kinky can your 100 cedis buy? If the price goes up from 5 cedis to, increases from 5 cedis to 10 cedis,
We buy 10.
it can buy only 10. Right? So if you have to receive money from someone, you want to receive it as early as possible. Because if the money is delayed, its purchasing power diminishes. Okay? So time value of money is very important. Time value of money. So if somebody owes you, those of you who are into personal business, somebody owes you, you must be quick to collect your money because of what? Time value of money. Time value of money. Money received early is better than money received late, right? Then we have what? Compounding and discounting. Remember that we are talking about what? The key concepts in corporate finance. Key concepts in corporate compounding. Now, when you want to know the value of money or a sum, right? The value of a sum in the future. So let's say that you have 100 cedis you want to invest. for 1 year. If you know the rate of return promised on the, the 100 cedis, you can easily estimate its value in a year's time. So the question, what is the value of 100 cedis? If it is invested, if it is invested at 12% per annum, what will be its value next year around this time? If you want to know that, you use what? Compounding approach. Compounding approach. So if you want to know the value of a future sum, right? The future value of a sum of money that we are going to invest today, then we use what? Compounding technique or compounding approach. Now, if we are going to receive money, let's say that next year we will be receiving 100 cedis. If we want to know the value of this 100 cedis that we are going to receive in a year's time, if you want to know its value today, we use what we call what? A discounting approach. A discounting approach. Discounting approach. Right. Okay. And when it comes to accounting for the time value of money, right? In corporate finance, discounting approach helps us. Discounting helps us to do that, because money received in different times have different values. Okay. We will come back to discounting. We will use discounting in our subsequent discussion. Class rep, what is his break time? You draw my attention. Yes.
It is 10 o'clock. When it is 10 o'clock, then we'll go for 30 minutes break.
Okay. So would you want to forfeit it? So that instead of closing at 12, we can close at 11:30. Or you may be tired because you are adults. Some of you have children that you have to feed their daughters. Some of you haven't eaten. So yeah, so let's go by the time. Now we want to talk about the financial manager. Right, the financial manager. Remember that corporate finance, I've told you that it's also called what? Financial management. So we're going to know what the financial manager, what does he do? So Musa, your hand is up. You have something to say?
Yes, Prof. I want to contribute something on the time value for money.
Okay, time value of money.
Yes, an example of when the money is delayed and is paid and the goods are increased. I have a traditional experience. My father used to tell me, like, he usually gives me money to give to my brothers in the night. I keep the money overnight till the next morning, later in the morning, and he probably meets one of them and asks them, "Did you receive your money?" He says no. He calls me and says, "Why didn't you?" I say, "Oh, it was late. And I woke up late this morning. And that's why I couldn't get." He says that, "Look, last night till this morning, did you spend some money?" I said, "Yes." He says, "So it's likely the one you're supposed to give the money also has a need to spend some money. So even if the goods don't increase and you give the money, you pay the money late, and the person loses the opportunity to utilize the money in any way, I think that is also a loss for the value of the money."
Okay.
Thank you.
Okay. Thank you, Musa. Okay. So Rebecca, for example, Rebecca, are you there? Rebecca. Hello.
Say I'm here, please.
If somebody promises to give you money today, and another guy promises, maybe a guy promises to give you, let's say, how much? Maybe 1 million Ghana cedis today, just for your hand in marriage. And another promises to give you 1 million Ghana cedis in 2026, which one would you prefer? Holding other factors constant.
So I'll take the current one.
Yes. Why would you take the current one?
They're looking at the value at the current time. It works it. So I will take it.
We can do a lot today with the 100 cedis or the 1 million Ghana cedis, right?
With the 1 million Ghana
Yeah,
cedis.
yes, you can do a lot today. Well, the one that you are going to receive in 2026, yeah, it's the same 100 Ghana cedi and 1 million Ghana cedi, but what you can do will not be the same as the one that
Same as
you
the, yes.
yes. So time value of money is very important, right? It's very, very important. Okay. Now we want to talk about the financial manager, right? Now he is supposed to be in charge of the funds or the finances of the firm. In fact, he is supposed to assist his firm to make the decisions we have said constitute the corporate finance function, investment decision, financing decision, dividends. He's supposed to assist his firm to make such decisions. Now, in some organizations, the title is not just financial manager, it's just the chief financial officer, CFO. And it's supposed to be the most important voice when it comes to corporate affairs. And when they're explaining the earnings, results, and forecasts and all that. So he is in charge of the finances of the firm. So in a typical organization, large organization, you may have the chief financial officer. So as you can see, please, do you see my share screen? Do you see the cursor?
Yes, sir.
Yeah, so this is it. The person is here. So all these people will be under him. But he is supposed to assist his firm. To make the decisions we have talked about. So what is his role? Yes, simply we can say that he is responsible for making the decisions we have discussed: investment decision, financing decision, and what? The dividend policy decisions or the dividend decisions. So it's supposed to raise funds, make investment decisions, raise funds, choose the right funds, the funds that will yield the lowest cost and all that. So in fact, as I've already indicated, he is responsible for these decisions, the decisions we have just talked about. So the sources of funds available to him, right, on your left-hand side, is also supposed to interact with financial markets. We'll talk about financial markets, shortly. So this is the financial manager. So this diagram summarizes what the financial manager does. The long and short of it is that he is in charge of the finances of the company. So in a typical organization, this should be the organogram. The boxes in pink represent the finance function, right? So in this organization, you have the board, you have the chief executive officer, then you have the line managers. The line managers are directors, right? So we have production director who is in charge of production. We have finance director who is in charge of finances. We have the marketing director, and then you have the human resources director, right? But you see that under the finance director, we have the controller who may be the accountant, right? The accountant of the company. Then you have the treasurer. Yes, you are in charge of the treasury, managing cash and credit and all that, right? But they all report to the finance director. Please, are you following the discussion?
Yes, sir.
Yes, sir.
Yes, sir.
Okay. Please ask questions. So, because this topic is supposed to be the foundation of our course. And the Bible says, those of you who are Christians, the Bible says that if the foundations are destroyed, what will the righteous do? So if you don't get a foundation, I'm sorry. It may be difficult for you to pass this paper. And I want everybody to pass this paper. Right. I want everybody to pass this paper. Do your best to pass once and for all. You don't have to come for any receipt because it can be demoralizing, it can be damaging, right? So, I mean, put in everything. Make sure that you put in all so that you can pass it once and for all and get your degree, right? Corporate governance and strategic leadership. And not only this course, all the models under the program, make sure that you give them attention and you focus on them. You go all out to pass all of them so that you can get your degree. But you are paying so much, you are making a lot of sacrifices. Some of you can't attend funerals, you can't attend weddings, you can't attend family meetings and all that because of this program. And if after everything you don't get anything out of it, it will be very, very bad. Okay. So go all out. Now we want to turn our attention to the corporate firm. The corporate firm. So that is what we have just looked at, is the work of the financial manager. We want to turn our attention to other matters. Now we are looking at the corporate firm. The firm, what is it? No, what you have to understand, the firm is supposed to be a way of organizing the economic activity of many individuals. Right? We have Fidelity. Fidelity is a firm. I mean, a firm that is used to what? To pursue economic activity or an economic activity or economic activities. And my friend Dennis Tete Awati, that's where he gets his daily bread from. Right? He goes there, he offers his service, and then he gets money to take care of himself as well as his wife and children. And then maybe the concubines or the side chicks.
Prophet Maria Ogude.
Maria Ogude, she says she's married.
No, she's also in Fidelity.
Okay, but she is married, right? Maria, are you not married? Maria, are you there?
Yeah, please, I'm around.
Okay. So, aren't you married?
No, please, I'm not married.
Okay. But and Dennis is looking for a side chick. Are you?
I'm a senior, so you cannot marry a senior.
What are you talking about? No, what are you talking about? Is it senior in age or what?
Sir, please, he knows what I'm talking about.
No, I'm saying that is it senior in age, Maria?
Both.
Okay, so you are older than him.
Yes.
Okay. Right. And then in terms of length of service, you are senior to him too.
As well. So it's my little boy.
Oh, okay.
Oh, did you just say that? Don't worry. We'll meet. We have a target to meet. We'll meet.
Oh, okay.
Oh, then.
Okay. All right. So, I mean, Fidelity is a firm, right? I mean, that is used to pursue what? Economic activity or economic activities. Now, the firm can take three basic forms. The sole proprietorship, partnership, and what? Company or corporation. Company or what? Corporation. Sole proprietorship, we can say just one-man business. Very easy to set up and very easy to close down. For example, if you put a table in front of your house and you put some toffees and biscuits on it, you are into sole proprietorship. If you do it today, tomorrow, if you are not satisfied, maybe with the patronage, you can decide to remove the table from there. And then the toffees, you can decide to share. And the toffees and the biscuit, you can just distribute them, share it with your neighbors and your children, and then you are out of business. You don't need to go through any formality, right, to get it done. Because when you were setting it up, you did not go through any formality or formalities to set. Right? So it's very easy to form and very easy to collapse. The main feature of sole proprietorship is that there is no difference between the owner, in this case, the sole proprietor, and the business. In fact, I and my father are one. Your business, right? You and your business are one. Your sole proprietorship business are one. So that what we call unlimited liability. As a sole proprietor or sole trader, you have an unlimited liability. What it means is that in case your business fails, your personal belongings can be attached to the debts of the business. Right? Yes. That is sole proprietor, unlimited liability. When you have two or more sole proprietors coming together to carry on business, the view of making profit, we have partnership. And the minimum number of sole proprietors that can form a partnership business is 2. The maximum is 20. And in fact, it's similar to sole proprietorship. Partnership is similar because you have sole proprietors coming together. Another, the main feature is that the sole proprietor, the partners have unlimited liability or except limited partnership. Where limited partnership, then that unlimited liability is taken on. But generally, the partnership business, makes the partners, the unlimited liability holders. That is if the partnership business fails, they are likely to lose their personal belongings to the debts of or the creditors of the partnership business. Then we have the corporation or company. One major feature of company is that it has limited liability. The capital of a company is in the form of shares. And when you acquire shares, your only liability is the payment of the value of the shares you have acquired. In case the company fails, your personal belongings cannot be attached to the debts of the company because you and your company are not one. You may be the 100% shareholder, but your company, what it holds, maybe the assets of your company are not your personal assets. And so you can even be prosecuted for abusing the assets of your own company as 100% shareholder. If you abuse the resources of your company, you can be in trouble, though you are the 100% owner of the company. So you and your company are not one. That's the point that you have to understand. Now, in our discussion of corporate finance, our focus is on corporation or company. So bear that in mind. In our discussion, our focus is on company, not sole proprietorship, not partnership. However, the principles that we will discuss could be applied to So brothership and partnership. Fidaus, your hand is up.